Okay, so hello and welcome to this tutorial on how do you self-study on how to become a web developer or a web programmer. So you have several resources that you can use. One is w3schools.com. Another one is if you have any questions, just go to Google and then you type those questions there. And another resource is YouTube. So you can go to Google and type how to change font size in HTML. So HTML, that's what you will be learning about uh, through self-study. And by typing that in Google, you're gonna get a couple of tutorials also and examples. So if ever you have any problem, Google is always there. But there are some cases that it's gonna be difficult to research if you do not have the basic foundations. That is why it's important to at least start with the basic foundations. And that is what w3schools.com is for. Now, the other resource is in Google. And in Google, you can also, type the same question or a different, not in Google, but in YouTube. You can also type the same question there and it will show you the step-by-step guide. So you can actually see how it's done. So depending on what you want, do you want a step-by-step, a written with screenshot, or do you want a video? So it's up to you. Just do your best to take initiative and then, research and learn and explore and just, enjoy the process of learning new things. Now, one thing about being a web developer, you do not have to know everything. I mean, no one in the world probably knows everything. Why? Because even in the web development uh, world or in the industry, there are always new programming languages, new techniques, new technologies, and there are always old programming languages that are suddenly, no longer being used. So our knowledge is constantly changing. And what that means for you, if you are still starting as a web developer, is that, you know, you are not really left behind. Even if there are people who have been doing it for 10 years or 20 years, you can still catch up to them. Why? Because most of those people 10 years ago, the programming languages they learned, it's no longer applicable today. The technology already has changed. And that is the point. It's never too late to start learning how to program. And you're not left behind. You can still catch up. So again, let's go to W3 Schools. So type that in your browser, w3schools.com. And there are a couple of things that you want to learn here. Now, some of these will probably take you maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, some of them just a few minutes. Some of the trainings here are just 30 minutes, maybe less. But what you really want to start with is HTML. Now, some of you may already know what that is. So just right click on it and then open it in a new tab. Okay, so right click, open in a new tab, and it will show you the tutorials. So just read these tutorials. So for example, it says here, this tutorial, by the way, starts from scratch. So it's totally okay, just follow the tutorial and then read through it, and don't worry if there are things that you will not understand, because as the tutorial goes on, you will begin to understand more and more about what this is about. And then in this example, I'll just take you through maybe three of them, examples in every chapter. Okay, so here is an example code. Again, you don't have to understand all of it. Just click on try it yourself. So every tutorial here usually has a workshop, and you access it by clicking on try it yourself. So in this case, it opened a new tab right here. And this is the code, okay? And to show you what the result of that is, this is the result here on the right side. Now, if at any time you want to change something here, Like example, this is a heading. You want to change that. You want to change this is a paragraph. So let's say I'm just gonna add something here and add something here. And if you want to see how that affected, because the left is the code or the programming code, and the right is the what it will look like. So just click on run. Click on run. And once you click on run, did you notice that it updated here? It added. What I did to change here, it also got affected here. And don't worry if you don't understand what this code is, Don't worry about that. Just focus on, try to just play around with it. There's no right or wrong answer. There's no mistake. And it's okay to make mistakes. Even if, let's say I delete it all like that. It's okay. This is just a workshop. This is a safe place where you can explore and try things. I'm just gonna undo, Control Z. This is a safe place where you can test. Okay, so no worries. Don't worry about making a mistake. This is a safe place that you can explore things. So that is the purpose of W3 Schools. And I'm just gonna close that. So that's it. W3 Schools just showed us an example. By clicking on try it yourself, at least we see, oh, so that's what it is. And once you're done with the first example, click on the one here on the left side. So we are done with home. Now we are here in the introduction. So here most of your basic questions will be answered about what this programming language is. Example, what is it? What is HTML? So it says here, yeah, this is what HTML is. It stands for Hypertext Markup Language. And it teaches you a simple HTML document. And then it will explain to you one by one. So just click on try it yourself, open in a new tab. Okay, and then you can play around with it, try changing things, see what happens, And then it will explain to you what is each of the elements. So the doc type, okay, it tells that it's an HTML5 document. HTML, this is the root element. So the head, okay. So I know that even the definition, if you look at it here, is a bit technical, but don't worry about it. Okay. So title, the body, okay. The H1, so the H1 is a heading. That means it's something that is big. It's a heading or a header. As long as you put H1, it makes it big. So don't worry about it too much, because later on there's really it will be explained more in depth. This is just an overview. Just skim through it. You don't have to memorize everything. Just familiarize, and that's it. That is the goal. Just familiarize. Don't need to be perfect 100%. Even if you understand only 20%, that's good enough. That's a good place to start. Even if it's 10% understanding, that's a good place. But over time, as you practice these programming languages more and more, your understanding will go from 5% to 10% to 15% to 20%. And that's all that you need to do. Okay, you don't need to understand everything. So just go through these tutorials. After you finish the second, go through the third. Okay, go through the third, and then go through the fourth, and then just finish it. And then try each of the examples. Some of them have more multiple examples in each tutorial until you finish everything here on the left side. And once you're done with the HTML tutorial, that means you are already familiar with HTML. Doesn't matter if you don't memorize everything. You always have these notes. This will always be open notes. So that is the good news. You can always review. You can always, if you forget something, go back here. Okay, if you forget, how do I, what does the code look like? Go back here. Just go back here. Okay. And so that is the plan. Go through HTML, and then what you do is for every HTML lesson, you need to do the workshop and play around it a little bit, explore, play around the editor, and then click run if you make any changes here. And then once you're done with HTML, maybe after a few days, start again with another lesson, and that is CSS. Okay, so our focus will be HTML and CSS. And then for now, don't worry about this. Just focus on HTML and CSS. Don't worry about this. You can skip this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just the first two, okay? And then the next thing that you need to learn is the server side, or what you call SQL and PHP. So first learn HTML, number 1. Next, learn CSS, number 2. And it's good if you will take notes right now. Please take note that you are going to, write it down on a piece of paper or on your notebook. Write it down that you need to learn HTML, then learn CSS. And CSS, it's just, the similar tutorial with the HTML. So just go at it one by one until you finish all of this. You are familiar a bit with all of this. And click on try it yourself to, to practice. And then once you are done with HTML, CSS, go to SQL, okay? Go to PHP, okay? So again, all we want is familiarization. We do not need perfection. We do not need, you to know everything. Just a little bit familiar. That's all we need. And then once you are done with SQL and PHP, the 5th one you should take is JavaScript, okay? So take notes. The 5th one is JavaScript. And the 6th one that you need to know is Ajax. Okay, so that's it. Number 1, HTML. Number 2, CSS. Number 3, PHP and SQL. They actually work together. And number 5 is JavaScript. Number 6 is Ajax. Okay, so it's really, that's it. Just go through. This is a self-study course. And if ever you have any questions, you can go to Google about that question, and you go to YouTube about that question. And what you usually do in Google is, you type in HTML or you type in CSS. Okay. That's why it's important to have the foundation. So at least you know what to type here in the end. So you can type here PHP. You can type here JavaScript. So whenever you are searching, whenever you have a question, it is important to add the programming language in the end. And that's it. If you go through this course, you will be ahead of many programmers, because many programmers actually program. They only know one. They only know HTML, or there's another. They only know HTML and CSS. They don't know the others. But if you go through this, you will be at an advantage, because you will be all around. You will have HTML. You will have CSS knowledge. You will have SQL. You will have PHP knowledge. You will have JavaScript and Ajax. So you will be at a total advantage, and it doesn't even take that long. And at first, it's gonna feel a little bit, overwhelming, because whenever you are learning something new, it is always uncomfortable. It is always overwhelming, and you're gonna have questions that sometimes, even if you Google them, there's no answer, and that is okay. That is totally normal. I haven't met a programmer yet who knows everything. Okay, so that is totally okay. I myself, I program for a long time, but I don't know everything. I always go to Google and then I ask a question. Sometimes I don't find the answer, and that is okay. So again, please start learning and doing self-study. HTML, CSS, okay, PHP and SQL, JavaScript and Ajax. So, give yourself a few days to just familiarize, and every day just learn something new. Okay. And then, one thing that I want you to do also is I will give you a login to what we call a cPanel. Okay. And what is a cPanel? A cPanel is actually just a website. Okay. So a cPanel is actually just a website. And the beauty of the cPanel is that, actually the technical definition of a cPanel, don't worry about that. We're here just to learn. We don't need the technical definition. And the cPanel allows you to upload the codes that you made, that you learned here in W3 schools, and you can see them live on an existing website. So one thing that I want you to do is that as you are learning this code here, I want you to go inside the cPanel, and again, I will give you the username and password. And then once inside, once you log in, this is how it will look like. And if you scroll down a little bit, click on File Manager. So I want you to look for File Manager. So here it is. Under Files, then File Manager. So it's a blue button. So click on it, and you will be asked to choose what directory. So just choose one. Okay, so wait for it to load. Okay. So this is what the cPanel file manager is like. You know, if you are familiar with Windows Explorer, for example, this is Windows Explorer. You know, there are folders, there are files. That is also the file manager. But this is on a different computer in the US. So it's a computer in the United States, and we are just accessing it online. So these are the folders inside, and these are the files. And inside the cPanel file manager, I'm going to show you that again, okay? Once you are logged in to the cPanel, scroll down and then look for the file manager. So here it is, Files, File Manager. Once you click on it, there will be some choices, okay? And then just choose which folder you want to go to. And then inside File Manager, I want you to go inside what we call public HTML. And what that means is this is what is visible to the public. That is why it's called public HTML, you know. And then the other things here that you see, these are not visible to the public, okay? So go inside public HTML, and I want you to create a folder there. That is your folder. And so put your name. Put your name there without spaces. Just your name. You can also put your what do you call this? Your last name, your first name, last name, and then click on create new folder. So let's do that again. I'm gonna go back because repetition is important, especially if it's you're learning something new. So again, from this is the first thing that you will see once you open the file manager. Click on public HTML so you can go to the folder that is visible to the public, visible to the all people worldwide. Okay. And then create your own folder. So click on new folder here on the upper left, new folder, and type your name. Okay, so click on create new folder, and it just refreshed a little, and now we have this folder. And try to don't use capital, by the way. Just use all small letters. Capital is also okay, but you know, just to be uniform. And this is now your folder. So I want you to go inside this file, you know, go inside this file or this folder. And right now it is empty. This directory is empty. So what you do is you create a new file here on the upper left. Okay. You create a new file, and then just maybe put a number on it. 0001. Okay. And then my first file, that HTML. And you can name this whatever you want. Okay, but just put a number 0001 so that our next file will have a different number 0002, 0003, and so on. And then the ending will be .html. Okay, so sounds good. And then create a new file. Okay, so this is your first HTML file. So what you do is we will go back to W3 Schools and we will follow the tutorial. So what you do is copy uh, the code from W3 Schools, and then go back to your file, click on the file, and then once it is blue, right click. Okay, you can now choose edit. Okay, right click, then edit. So I'm just gonna cancel. I'll show you that again. Right click on the file, click edit. And then it will show you this. Just click on edit again. And click paste. So I just pasted the code from W3 Schools. I copied it, I pasted it here, and click save. Okay. So what will that do? Now that you have the file, it's called 00001 my first file.html. You can view that on the website. And it depends, of course, on the website that I will give you. But in this example, this is the website it is on. And then I forgot the title. So it's 00001 my first file.html. So let me try that. Yeah, it's in the Oliver folder. Okay, so just replace this with your name. And then 0001 my first file.html. So this is the file. This is actually the code from W3 Schools. Okay, and you can view it by going to the website, adding your own folder. So whatever your name is, okay, just add it there, and then put the name of the file. And you will notice that the spaces are automatically being replaced by, a symbol, a weird symbol, and that's okay. Just type it with spaces. That's okay. Example 001 my first file.html. When I hit enter, notice when I hit enter, the how it looks like will change a little bit. Yeah, it's adding a %20, but that's okay. No, don't worry about it. And once you go back inside the what do you call this? The file, you can go ahead and edit things. Just make sure that you're not editing other files. Just edit your own files. Don't edit the other files in the website, because that's gonna that's gonna change the website. So example, I'm gonna change this section for page title. Maybe I'll say this is Oliver's first programming file. Okay, and it's up to you. And this is a heading. Hello, how are you? Okay, so I just changed this. And this is a paragraph. Add more paragraphs here. Okay. So notice that I didn't change anything that's within the brackets. They are there as is. I just changed the sentences, the phrases. And then once you do the change, click on save. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the other tab to see how it looks like. So what you do, just press this refresh button or reload, or just view the file again. And you will see that it has updated. And that's what I want you to do. Just go inside the tutorial, copy the code, read a little bit of the things that are written here, then move on to the next. Okay. And then look for the code again, copy the code, and then click on new file, number it the next number 0002, and then title it what do you call it, introduction. Okay, HTML introduction. So at this point, you want to use a good title. Okay, so it's easy to look, it's easy to check, oh, it's for this activity. So HTML introduction, click on create a new file, and then right click, edit, right click edit, so you see the code, and then close anything that you no longer need. So I'm just gonna close. the other things. Okay. And go back inside W3 Schools, copy the code. And then this is the editor. Paste it here. Okay. And then save it. I'm just gonna close YouTube and Google. I don't need that anymore. So this is the second one. So the title is 0002 HTML introduction.html. So let's look at that. Again, make sure that you put your folder name that you created exactly the same, and then put the title 0002 HTML introduction.html. So 0002 space HTML space introduction.html. Okay. So this is the first, and then you can play around with it a bit here in the editor. You know, whatever you want to add, put it here. Then once done, click save on the upper right and refresh. Okay, so that's simple, right? You don't have to understand it. Just skim through it and then familiarize it a little, and then read a little bit of the explanations. Okay, so here is actually a detailed explanation. And then next, HTML editors. You can actually edit using Notepad. You can actually edit using Notepad. Okay, but in this case, we already have the online thing, so we don't need Notepad. We can edit it here immediately. Okay, and then this one you can skip that because that's the Notepad. Let's head over to the basic HTML basic examples. Yeah, here is a heading. So there are examples here. Copy this, create a new file, 0003 HTML basic.html. So this is now the third file, and we're just gonna edit it again. Okay, edit and close anything you no longer need. So the basic one is this code, and then just familiarize with it. Okay, doc type HTML, body, h1, ppin, body, HTML. And then notice if there is an opening, there is a closing. There is an opening, there is a closing. There is an opening, there is a closing. Right? The open is like this. The close, there is a slash symbol. Okay. Except this one. This has no closing, if you notice. Okay, but the rest is the same. And these are the codes, the one in between this symbol, the arrow, left and right arrow symbol. And it's giving us another code here at the bottom. So H1, H2, H3. So just copy that and paste that in between this file. Make sure it's inside the body. Okay? Make sure it's inside the body. That's where you usually do your coding. Between the body. Here is the body at the top, and here is the body at the bottom. So I copy pasted the code here. Okay, so I'm gonna save that, and I'm just gonna look at what's the effect of that. What is the use of H1? What is the use of H2? What is the use of H3? So refresh. Okay, so it's the wrong file. 0003 HTML basic. HTML basic.html. Okay. And it's, by the way, guys, it's important that you add this at the end, .html. Otherwise, it won't run. So the effect of the H1, the new code that we added, the H2 and the H3 is like this. The H1 is the biggest, the H2 is smaller, the H3 is even smaller, and you can actually go on. You know, I'm just gonna copy this here. H4, H5, H6, you know, it becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. That's it. H5 and H6. Okay. So again, look at the result, and you see, big smaller, even very small until it became very small. So that is the purpose of H1. It's the HTML headings, H1 to H6. Okay. And then it's going to give you other examples. Just copy it again. Make sure you put it inside the body. So just enter, and save. So we are now looking at the code for P or paragraph. So open P and close P. Open P and close P. And let's see what that does. So this is a paragraph. This is another paragraph. So that's it. So the use of P is, it's a normal paragraph. It's not big. It's not small. It's just a normal paragraph. And they are separated by, enter. It's like hitting your enter. So it's automatically separated. It goes to the next line. So that is all that I want you to do. Just copy the links here, familiarize with it, add it one by one, and then for every code, don't try to put it all together at the same time. Put one small code at a time so you see the effect, right? Because if we add this code all at the same time, it's confusing, right? Because what do those code do? Add it one at a time, and then save it, and then look at it here to see what is the effect. Okay, you see? So we just added a new code here, and the effect is it is a link. You can click on it, right? So if I click on it, it goes to this one. Okay. So just look at this again. Read. There's some explanation here. Okay, and you can change this link, of course, wherever you want this to go, and you can change this text here. Just don't change the one in between the open and close. But this one, yeah, you can change this. You can even choose an image. But this one, I'm not sure if this will work because, we are hosted on a different website. So in this case, you will need to look for another image. And if you want to upload an image, by the way, just click on upload. Go to the cPanel file manager. If you remember how to go there, we log in cPanel, we go to file manager, and then we go to your folder inside your own folder. Then we added the files. And then if you click on upload, you can upload an image. So click on upload. It will open a new screen. And then choose file. You can upload any picture that you have on your computer. So wherever you get that, from Google, from Flickr, from your research, you can upload it here. And once inside, your picture will go here. If it does not show, just click on reload. Okay, just click on reload until you see the picture. And you can use the code then once you have the picture, this one. Use this code, copy it into your own code. So for example here, so I'm just going to download something from Google. Actually, what if I just download this? Okay, so I'm just going to choose a photo and save. View image. Okay, it's a very big photo. I'm going to choose something smaller. View image. I'm in Google right now. And right click the image, save it. Maybe you can put it on the desktop. So remember the name, or you can rename it. Cat number 1. And go back to the cPanel file manager and click on upload. And then choose file, go to the desktop or wherever you save the file. Usually it's in the desktop or in the downloads. So go to that and click on cat or the photo. And it's now starting to upload, and it says here at the bottom right, it's now complete. So that's how simple it is. to upload. Again, just click on upload and a new tab will open. Click on choose file. And in choose file, you go to where you downloaded the images. So it's up to you where you save the images. It's either in the desktop or in the downloads or wherever. Then choose that, click open, and it will upload. So let's, it does not show right now, so you need to click reload. And here it is. Okay? So we're gonna go back to W3 schools, copy this one, put it, I'm just gonna close the things that are no longer necessary. Okay, copy the code, so it's already here. Make sure it is between the body, but it's actually up to you if you want to put this at the top, at the middle, or at the bottom. Just make sure, you know, that it is on its own line. So in this example, we are going to change the W3 school's photo into our own photo. So that's called cat1.png. So just replace this, cat1.png. Okay. And, well, let's try saving it. The width, I remember from Google, the width is 400 and the height is 400. And it doesn't have to be exact. Just that was too small. 100, you know, that's too small. And you can play around these numbers here, the width and the height, to you know, to see what's the effect. And let's try refreshing. And there is the cat. Okay? So that is HTML. HTML is just really a few lines of code, and then you just, you know, modify it a little bit. And you can even cut this. You can cut that and then transfer it at the top. Just make sure it's between the body and the body. Yeah, at the top and at the bottom. And then when you refresh it, now the cat is at the top. Okay, so it's actually up to you what the sequence is. You can change the sequence. You can even place this here, elsewhere. So this is what HTML is. It's just, there's an existing code, and then you just edit it a little bit, and you put it inside the you know, the server. This is a computer in the US, the United States. And by the way, this page that you're looking at right now can be viewed all over the world. Okay, so whatever you make, just put it in your folder. You know, everyone can view it. You go to an internet cafe, the people can view it. You go to your home, if you have internet, you can view it there. You go to the office, you can view it there. You can view it anywhere you go in the world, as long as it has internet. So that's the beauty of HTML. You can build websites. Now, don't worry. I know this first exercise, there's not a lot of, you know, design, look to it, but that's it. That's the basic. And that's actually the first one, the first two files, or the first three files. And I want you to continue. Please do the same process and then play around with it a little bit. Enjoy the process and, you know, be playful. There is no right or wrong answer. Just don't delete anything here, okay? And then just work in your own folder. Don't delete anything in the other folders. I mean, we have a backup, but it's just, you know, it's a waste of time if we spend having to restore something. And don't worry about making mistakes. As long as you keep inside your own folder and then don't delete anything, you will be fine. Okay? And, you know, there's nothing you can do that will ruin the thing here, the cPanel or the file manager. There's nothing you can do that will ruin. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. It is okay. And just continue with the training. Do the HTML5 tutorial and then put them in the file manager. I will also be checking the work that you do. Okay, so just to make sure that you're doing the, you know, you're learning, you're doing the self-studying. And that's it. I hope this video is useful to you, and I hope you learned a lot today. I know there's a lot to learn here, but again, always remember, you do not need to know 100%. By now, you actually already know, you know, 5%, 10%. You made great progress. A lot of people who are starting the the tutorial or the programming, they don't even have access to a server. So you are very lucky because you have access to a server. You can view your output online. You can brag about it to your, not really brag, but you can show it off to your friends and family. Hey, I know now how to program a little bit. Yeah. So most people don't have access to a server like this. So it's good, and you are at an advantage. And I really think that you have what it takes. You have what it takes to really become a programmer. And again, once you are done with HTML, you can click on the home icon here. Once you finish, you can proceed to CSS. And once you are done with CSS, proceed to SQL and PHP. And once you are done with PHP and SQL, actually do PHP first, okay? Don't do SQL first because PHP is needed for the SQL to work. And then once you're done with PHP and SQL, go to JavaScript. Once you're done with JavaScript, go to Ajax. Just repeat the process, copy the codes here, paste them here, and then play around with it. You can upload images here. You can create new files here. Upload images, new files. You can also add new folders, and you can view the website, your own website, by typing this base website. Maybe I will give you another URL. Okay, but I will just tell you what URL to use. Maybe it's still this, so we don't know. And then put the folder here. So put a slash, your name, and then the file name of what you want to view, of the file that you just programmed. And that's it. Thank you for watching this video, and see you in the next.